Tan dene nga chinyenge la ne ta nga do mombo tu nyunge da ne ya to ma nywa ne renga yesi wore te za ne tsama la to ma de la tashi de le shue.
So among the listener, so there are those whom I have met in the past, and as well as there might be others whom I have not met. So I would like to begin by sending my greeting to all of you.
Te za ta te na ji ge ne chinyenge na la ne ta chi ya po yung changye da ne ya chi sawa ten ri ge ne yung ye ge ten ri wo ka ji ji sang de te za ta ne ta ngin de ma ri shi je di za la cham cha ne ya sa be won de shen ne xie bo de cham cha ne ya de ni ne de tor de ri ge xie wan da wo ne yung ge res.
So there might be also some of you who have been familiar with the teachings, and as well as the others who are not so familiar. But I will try my best to accommodate the need of all of you. So just to explain specifically for those who are very new to the teaching, and as well as I'll do my best to give a bit of more deeper explanation to those who are familiar with the teachings.
Tini yung musi ware, tini yung mare soson tini tetsi no tulu tini chasi wares. O tini chawa isa ta so iso loi la mushungi jinse ti shene ya tela magawa tini mache wache. Neka chi tela toche che ga sanso na buji li paa shane. Ane shana ya puyo res.
So it's not easy to actually give the presentation so that it is suitable to all the listeners. So, for instance, when we give the presentations, focusing on those who have been familiar with the teaching for a long time, and then sometimes the presentations either makes no relevant or no sense to those who are beginners, and even some then beginner might think that because they heard this thing for the first time, so they get very bit skeptic about the content of the teachings, and sometimes even they think that this doesn't make sense, or doesn't make there's no logics. So it's very important that trying to, even as a beginner, and there are certain things which you don't understand it, but it's very important to keep the open mind, and as much as possible to utilize your the rational mind, your reasoning mind, to make the assessment of the teachings.
Tsochi tochi shi sansol pa sha ane jelo ni trawa kugu ye nanda ane susu nungchi kale lo yu chene ni ngotsui ge rewa ja kugu ye nanda o tani chi chugo yore tochi chi te nungbi ge chi nu la ane ta tochi chi chugo yore te tempa rang ge ni tochi chi chugo yore sene ni seche dawi seche ta lepa to la ngai ka sune ane tani ge sunsha yore es.
So it is the advice that that in studying in your studying the Buddhism, so that to as much as possible to analyze the what you learn about, and so of course if there are certain point that which you don't understand, or if you have a further question, so it's advisable to put a note, take a note of those questions, and so later on you may be able to address those questions to the to teacher or to others, and so essentially even the Lord Buddha himself said that you must always studying in learning the Buddhism, so you must always investigate and analyze, to see whether it makes sense or not. And just as if we have to check whether some solid thing is gold or not, we also have to examine that thing through certain the process of rubbing, cutting, and so forth. So in similar way, so therefore in Buddhism, so to applying this your reasoning mind is really very important.
대지 년상년도 저거다 저 년차이 하고 소소선다 보던지 애니야 셈발 때지 부수도 세그라와 가르치 그러다 던지 그 레이거든다 대지요다 대 맞어 농비 치제는 던지 차가요 말에 배나 맞어디 못한다고 용 또야 용니 칼론도와서 칼로서 돈다고 용아이나 대신사는 니사래 당가서 문비치 생에때 몸보지다 조지 아니 그 생각이네 아니 요네 요도 컨디션에 요네 요도 컨디션에 네 던지지 그 뇨뇨군 거네 제거야지 이래 되어래 대인자네 요네 요도 컨디션 발라 요네 요도 티그 그래서
and on the other hand, when the presentation is more directed towards the beginners, then sometimes those who have been studying, who have already got some knowledge, and then they as they listen to the teaching, so they say, I already know that there's nothing new for me, and it's very boring. And somehow they kind of not pay, the directing any attentions to the teachings because they just by saying this. But in fact, it's important to understand that here in this our studying of Dharma is not like the other, like for example, if you have to learning driving skills or cooking, getting a cooking lessons. So those skills, once you have perfected, you completed the training, and then you don't have to necessarily have to get the training, do the training over and over again. But however, so in here in our studying of the Dharma, so it is more related to the enhancing the qualities, within our mind, and so something the studying is a part of our of training our mind, and so therefore it's not enough in this process of mental development or mental training. So it's not enough to engage ourselves in this teaching, whether it's studying or practicing once, but we really have to habituate our mind with it, the teaching over and over again, as well as by listening to teaching, by engaging in the contemplative meditation, and also even trying to gain the experience out of this one's learning. So therefore it's important for the Dharma teaching. So it's important that it's having heard once is not enough, or no having contemplating it on it once is not enough. But we have to hear the teaching and contemplate and meditate on it over and over again. gain the good realizations.
Pena ni yempe ji sen, shongju ji sen se wata. Ani nije chenpo. Tenu jiga na tuni tu pishara. Tso ani ta deshi tochi yune na jiri sungwe za. Ani ta tso ni ta ngozo shido ni mig roji la ni tuma ni zewa jida, nije jida. Ani ta nipi nenzili yeme chebi shera ji, ani rongche se ye dewa te. 아니 요네 요데 콘디체 요네 요데 콘디체네 아니 야제톤 타니 쇼주지 샘바도 딘디 셰라데고 뚜니도 비샤라 네 몰이야 조도 타네 아니 딘디 요네 요데 콘디체 그거요레 데 콘디체 발라 제자 요요네 요도 아니 티 제소도 아니 딘디 제발라 테네 제구르마도 아니 멜로자네니 쇼주지 센 시와 슈세와다 아니 이제 좀 시와 슈 돈이도 비셔라 시와 슈세와 이제 네 이거 말했어.
So from the teachings, so we understand that really the true source of all the happiness that we seek in our life, so is the altruistic, mind, is the Bodhicitta, or the awakening mind, is the compassion, so is the wisdoms, realizing emptiness. So we say that these are the true source, and then and we also say that everyone has the potentials to produce this perfect the qualities, perfect state of like such the compassions, bodhicittas, and the wisdom of emptiness, and the reason is because it is the fundamental quality of all these positive states of mind, like the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. These are already within ourselves, in us. So therefore, the question of how we make progress in our Dharma practice, so is to activate those qualities, potential quality within us of the compassion, bodhicitta, and wisdoms, and to develop those qualities and trying to fully develop and to perfect ourselves in cultivating this positive state of mind. And so in talking about cultivating or perfecting this quality state of mind, such as bodhicitta and so on, so of course this is not going to happen simply by praying that may this precious mind of bodhicitta arise within me, may the compassion or the wisdom of emptiness arise within me. Simply by saying these words, prayers, it's not going to happen. So rather, we have to understand this meaning of all this positive state of mind, and then have to put an effort and trying to cultivate this mind, and also this requires a consistent, the effort and to make ourselves our mind, habituating our mind self with these all these positive states of mind.
제가 내가 주거다 대시 주대니 배셔한다고 빈조다 아니 담년도다 아니 빈빈조 년세 몸본다고 시 아니 드리 쉬나 아니 대시 용거래 소송도 보시 여래 이내라 다 대조 메디잘다 저 쉬나니 아니 대시 용거래 소소 여래 이내요 대조 쉬차네 아니 대시 용거에도 등가 용거에 아니 다데 시 마티오 지르바 어떤지
so we have we find in the teaching that the true cause or the source of our happiness is all this is is cultivating such, the positive state of mind, such as compassion, bodhicitta within us. So, however, if we ask what is our normally the perspective of the cause of the happiness, then our normally, so we perceive the happiness and the joy, all these arise from the external, the gain, such as external gain of material wealth, from the monies and making up like fames and reputations. So we see all these external the condition as the source of the happiness that we seek. So, however, if we now ask ourselves, if will we get find a happiness or satisfaction if we are successfully gain all this the external object or not, then really we won't be too sure about that.
제자안에 소재가네 다 아니 예배치 선바 현주지 센다 아니 제와 니지 침볼라서 받다 아니 돈이도 비셔라디 또 아니 일루지 비셔라지 니비넨젤 이메 제비셔라라 소바 네 대와토체 그 주리 시디살라 다 셔라데 때증가솔 롤차데 오나우지야 다 니비넨젤 파요 제 디지살라 다 디소 셔라 공변로 잠을 셔라 공변로 맞죠지 주모이 가도 trombono oche ne ta ne tsawo yewe kati ya tromogono ya tromon jitro tso kangani shiri yaji in sheral tene yungu yorwa te inza sheral tene ni injidel dewa yungu de sewa ina ani techi lon chatago te inele ani ta shonchu ji sendo yepe ji sombati ani dewa toche jiri sedisala ani techi 아니 로주지 마존나 네 차탁하고 요래서
when we think of the intelligence or the wisdom of, like, for example, in teaching in Dharma teaching, so the wisdom realizing emptiness, so as the source of happiness. So this is something we can understand, or we can understand it as a tool to find happiness, to achieve what we want to achieve. Because if we know from even in terms of our success with the external world, so we know that how with the human intelligence, human knowledge, how we are so successful in inventing various things that are very serve the humanity, such as the to overcome the extreme hot weather. You can have like air conditions, or to overcome the extreme cold, then you could have a heater. So forth. There are so many objects, material things that we human have invented, and of course we understand that all this invention came from the human utilization of human intelligence, human knowledge. So from this perspective, we can understand that that how if we develop the we can also understand how the wisdoms of realizing emptiness, which is wisdom, understanding the things as they are, how these can be very effective tools or the means to finding happiness and to solving our human problems. But however, if you ask ourselves, we also say that the source, the bodhicitta and the like compassions or the altruistic state of mind, all these are also the source of happiness. But when we ask that how these are the source of happiness, then that is not that it's not that easy for us to understand.
제장안에야 예배지 셈바데니 디시 도체 지르유시 디살 마카시가다 무체 코로나 아니 예배지 주주 제대로이나 소소라 니 중시고 이러면 요가 somne 아니 드니가 아니 송에 그 뭐부지 여러와 대인자다대 가서디 빼놓으시잖아다 빼놓 고산 중다고 나지나 뭐제 거로니 션인지다 드니 그 주주제대자 다 디소 간데나 진짜 단점을 강라니 당년도는 콜레 치지면와 아니 단점을 이til다 년바세를 가르치 그래 또 다 노베지토리 니 세치 토마레 니 토마 체슈나 강갈 코로 런군와 진짜 아니 저절로 아니 종라사서는 센티조 거기에서 말했어
And we normally normally so there are a lot of people, lot of us think that how if devoting our entire life to serve the humanities is then would be a great loss to our own self purpose, self goal of our life. And so we somehow we think that we might if we dedicate all our time or effort towards helping, towards benefiting others, then we are worried, that we are concerned that then we will be missing something out. We won't be able to achieve our own goal of the life. So, but in fact, you can see how if you take into the example of such many noble beings who devoted their whole life in serving the others. Like for example, His Holiness Dalai Lama. We all know that his entire life has been dedicated to serving the humanities. But now we can see how in the world. So in terms of the achieving a good name, I think we could say that he have earned one of the most well-known now person in the world, and as well as he has all the possible various prizes, worldly prizes and awards that we can think of. He has earned all those, and this to some extent, so we can understand that the personal goal is kind of automatically is achieved when once our life is dedicated towards humanities.
제자다 대시 도지 지리스 제페지 som바싱이데 아니야 데 소소노도 온거네 파줄 네 자샤 제네자 파줄 펜비그시더니 som바질 세고레 마도 야지 임반나오지 또 아니 마우베가 센타마세 그러까 센델라 아니 땅년도도다 아니 지마키 응알레 야지 단다파지 조주는 야보조그리 소소나고지 드리기 제다 예절 셈발 세고 말이 쓰지 배지 셈발 세고요 말이
So when we talk about the altruistic mind or attitude, mental attitude, such as the Bodhicittas or the awakening mind, so we are talking about some state of mind which is completely intended to benefit others. Out of if you give a percentage, it has to be absolutely 100%, intended to benefit others, and so whatsoever in this altruistic attitude, attitude of the bodhicittas whatsoever. So there's no sense of making any profit to oneself, and like in the form such as to thinking that if I now undertake this great humanity work, then I will become famous, or that I will receive some prize or some reward from the others. So therefore, in this altruistic or the bodhicitta mind, so there's no absolute no reverse expectation of a reward for oneself. So it's a completely unconditional, thought of benefiting other beings.
Tende izata yepeji semba tiga ani deshi tato juza resene ndipin reshe yonto pajido ni tende jawala na ni shewa ngashi tu jane ani reshe jago yesa res.
So, and I believe that really to fully explain the benefit of this the altruistic mind or the bodhicittas, its benefit towards all sentient beings, then we need to can be only explained fully understand if we explained it in the context of the concept of the life after death, because without some understanding, some explanation of this life after the existence of the life after death, it's not easy to fully appreciate and to understand the benefits of this in the bodhicitta mind.
대인자 이나양다 예배치 선바대네 소제 추말라 15용의 예와다 아니 되게 대화 제의 예와대 아니 땅어서대 뭐체놀 아니 세워 있죠대 거야. 제바더니 단단히 고사조도 아니 체리발을 쏠라서봐 파지 둘이체 다 체리바티서 티서 또제치네 너 세르와 다카레 경고요 네바요 댕했더니라 아니 다 단다 예배치 센디 로주테네 아니 다 대원 대바도 뭐 대와대 다 저스크라 누가 문대바 녀바 아니야 지 소소 다 지구 경고자 나소나 다 뭐셴바 지 소소를 야보 이치는 소소셀 가고 가려야래 드니가 비 로주테네 아니 로주테 디살라나 드니가 다 네바 요딩에 고속라 아니 다 니마이나 네바트소 유디살라 미셀 강인다고 경고도 손살비 셀 부수다고 동도 다티 로주 제 차유제나 니 셈바크 용보다니 유니 조보다 아니 드릴 펜도시 원도 있으네 아니 시행도 있으네 다 디소 용도래도와
So of course to some extent we can clearly understand the effectiveness of this altruistic mind in terms of in benefiting other beings. So, like for example, through His Holiness the Dalai Lama's the project of the dialogue with the modern science and specifically the neuroscience. So they have some scientists have used some of the the Buddhist teachings of such as teaching related to cultivating bodhicitta mind, such as the technique of exchanging self with others. And so they in this so they conducted some kind of workshops, so where they give a training to the people who are working on health care, such as the personal care, people who work at the aged care facilities. And so all these staffs were giving a training on this the bodhicitta mind, particularly exchanging self with others, and then how this giving them some sort of the meditations to see how imagining that if they are if they are in the like an aged person, and if they receive somebody like to serve them, a nurse who served them with a genuine, a care and love, and then how in their imagination how they would appreciate that. So anyway, at the end result, so this, there was a very good positive outcome that where a lot of how the outcome is that how normally there are a lot of staff who work in that environment, so they found the work very challenging, very difficult, and often they become like slaves, and so there's not much they get bored and very stressful. But however, after the training, so they find the word rather very the positives. They have a completely different view and find it very useful. And so in this way we can understand the practical the benefits of this practice of cultivating bodhicitta mind or altruistic mind in our everyday life as well.
Ten zatini sidane nombi june shepi ni nombi june ta ani jepe tsambato ni jichimbola supalapi njeshi jewo shiuji yedeware ten naji go ni ta jinga zu kashi da yi shu ge chule tni ge nola ya ani ta jepe tsambata ni tni njeshi yorisik da tangi do manye ani te yena yo ta te ma chin njeshi jawaina 아니 대지 다 치킨 랭게지고 마도니 마도 아니 마도로 아니 참도 와인자 아니 다 고사조가니 다 농비가 jun데라 농비가 녀랜세 농비가 따도 농비가 치리세네 네 예와선 파시네 아니 농비 따다도 네 농비가 네 치리라 수파티비 아니 치킨 램레 터치지 아니 바 로주제다 아니 드니지 그 고가야 보지 그도 그런 잔도 되는 소근도 안 잔도 주지는 마
So not only in Buddhism, but we can also find the about the altruistic mind, like the compassions, bodhicittas, also in some the teaching of the other religions, traditions such as in Christianities and in Islam and so on. So the overall, so the of course there's there's all mentioned, and then each tradition, so they all have a different explanation, different of how to about this altruistic mind, and so. But then there is also issue that what is explained in all those religious texts. So it's not really acceptable to all the peoples. So it's probably mainly this is relevant or is more for those who believe in their religions. So those who are believers, but whereas those who don't accept the religions faith. So a lot of what is mentioned in those scriptures. So certain things, so they are not the acceptable. Not so don't they can't accept. So therefore the His Holiness Dalai Lama so have the advice and to divide the whole Buddhist Buddhist like canon or the teachings into three sections. Three sections. So there's that one section which mainly deals with the like Buddhist practice, like the meditations, and then the next section deal with the Buddhist view, and then the Buddhist science, the psychologies, study of mind, and so he wants to divide into three, and then he wants to so that the purpose is to make so that at least there's the next two, the Buddhist view and the Buddhist science of minds. These are something which you don't have to have a faith in the Buddhism or faith in any religion, but it is anybody can it's suitable for anybody to study. Lost.
Tione kusachuganita zombali chasonglo ani shideyung chetani ta shiri yajeti yewache ta tikala atisu tsewa tikan dangme itani ni tsewe lojuji ani zombali chatawaji somne tuje none ni ta ani ta tanani lota yenchete lapi tsewe ko chitu manjewi kone ani lojuji tsutana tni sone ani tapi tndila ni shu ja ni ta tisong jaga lumba ni kaji lota kaji to wala ni ta numbi sagro ta chitu mande bi sushi tine ni lonse tsu sambare sene ni tni shi do ten no ji pa nzomli la chat ya ji ka pi tuje no ne ani tni nang do at and also it is also the wish of His Holiness Dalai Lamas to promote the value and the understanding of compassion and the loving kindness in the world, and then towards these goals. So it is his wish that this is integrated this into our education systems, such as in the school, from the school, and this all this because His Holiness felt that in the world, while there's we have accomplished a lot in a material terms in terms of the modern developments, science and technology development, and through this how human have able to solve a great deal of human problems and to promote happiness, or to promote the needs, fulfilling the need of the humanities. But however, what is really behind, what is really lacking in our humanities is this value of loving kindness and compassion. So this for His Holiness been working very hard to include some sort of the certain part of this of the teaching, such as the value of loving kindness, compassions. So all these which are, we call it like a secular subjects, and so it's not related to any religious belief, and so completely the dogmatic, and non-religion. So he been work very hard, but to some extent especially in India, so there has been some school where it's been now included, this studying of the compassions, and it's all included into their school curriculums. ne nombegal ne ceribalagia ta tani ke cha kin zaman nombeg ni ne la ne sumbe se ju no job ani ceribala me at zo phalo shite ani ceribig nu la ta suishan ju ni ta ma to ba thamo ani dente la supa shitane nombeg june la lo ni tonga ja ne shun sawari te hinayo 단디 츠리 티노라 단도 텔 세와도 텔 셔차와 드니에 이자 도조니 레차도 츠일라 아노 시피고 고 레차도 조니 파테지 드니 순rel라 테네니 아니 좀릴지 Petaya Tini, and a Tuyam Munogaris.
And so, it's been now going on for probably last over 20 years that since the in His Holiness Dalai Lama, started this dialogue with the modern with the scientists, and so he always emphasized that his intention of this dialogue is really not to convert the scientists or the people, modern people into Buddhists. So rather, the purpose is to learn from each others. So that is to, like, from the scientists can learn from Buddhism, particularly the Buddhist the wealth of knowledge of the mind, like the psychologists and the emotions. They can learn from that, and whereas from the Buddhist point of view, there's things to learn from science is like on the subtle, like atoms, and although of course even the most subtle atoms has been said that have been found in many years, a long time ago in the past, but however yet the kind of the level of very subtle level of the atoms which that the modern world has got is even, this is something even more subtle, and there's something that from there Buddhists can learn about the impermanence of the things. So it is about the learning from each other, and then to the whole point, whole goal of this whole thing, like just as a science and Buddhism, it is to then to make is to benefit, is to contribute this humanity, make the world, bring more peace and more happiness in the world. So working together, both the science and the religions together for the common aim of promoting humanities.
Tenda ide ne ta chidu mande vi su she se na seda ne ta ye pe chi sombat so ne tan zombli ne cha mato wa tandi yungo mare ka si ma un pa kale kale chi che na cha tho si wa re kai se na pe na nga zo ti e ti so zombli mong che wala mo zo lu mare ti yore tindi mo zo junju de ya thoma ni mare chi re ni tini chopa tini jaga 아니 드니 전에다 지차용 주기로와 아니 대노지 전에다 대 고사주고 베비 니다 지도만데 위수시 다시 배치 선바도 솔로 로주데 아니 좀 봐지다 아니 나 자그리 성거리잖아.
So and I strongly believe that one day just as His Holiness Dalai Lama wish that to the world, in general, to embrace this the value of compassion and loving kindness. That one day I strongly believe that it will be accepted. It will be promoted, integrated into our education system, and so in that way it can benefit to the world. And so this is like just as how in this modern day, so we can say that in the most part of the most country are now the government systems is based on democracies, by which is the system which is by and by the people, majority of the peoples, and of the people, with the people. So however, if we look at the human evolution, so of course then the democracy was not that popular in the beginning, in the early history. So it was, when you look back, it was initially started by maybe just a one or two, and then slowly it became that's democracy is then impressed by a small community, then to the one nation, now to the whole world. So there is no reason, and I do see that one day this, as His Holiness wishes, this teaching or the education of the compassions will be embraced by the whole world. Lost.
아니 코서지 잡아 종갑 받치미요 가리수에서는 아니 동보 자치 티파 못자 바드 줄리 도치 동바샤 타만 인세거든 영어서는 근주 땜바지 비치했던 거스네 아니 동보 티파시지 되니 개침물에 수요래서
So of course the compassions so is is a root cause to generate the awakening mind, which is bodhicittas, and so this compassion and bodhicittas makes the main method or the main skill to achieve complete enlightenment, and then the wisdom of emptiness, wisdom realizing emptiness, so is the main intelligence or the main wisdoms to achieve complete enlightenment. So therefore now to in order to now to cultivate these two, this method of bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. So in order to cultivate that, first we have to study, we have to learn about this, the method and the wisdom, and this our learning process then involve like listening to teachings or the reading books and so forth, and then on the basis of the learning, and then we can further develop our knowledge or the understanding by contemplating, and then also after that then on meditating on what we have understood. So essentially, so we follow the practice that just as the great Tsong Khapa himself have done, so which is summarized in this line of prayer, where which summarizes the life of Tsong Khapa, which says that how in the beginning I listens to the teaching, to the much listenings, engage in the much listening. Then in the mid the kalsa thangbo
동보 자치 티파 못자
now then
바드 줄리 도치 동바샤
yeah, then in the middle, then all the teaching arise. I understand all the teaching as an instruction, personal instructions, and then at the end, then I practice this instruction day and night, and then all these then I dedicate to the flourishing of the dharmas.
다 동보 자치 티파 못자 세워놓으지거든 다 동보 티파 속고구에나 아니 수잔에 티구거래서나 다 가서 가서 봐봐 네 노선노스 시디고 봐 딩에는 노선노스 지제티네 아니 다 신이 된서 순구요래서네 nendewa mumbu sunjonde tenza tatne ngene sosane tigu yemerigo tani shenye tela kandis gu yemete desi shuil so first of all
So we understand that we must study a lot about the teachings, and so therefore at the moment, so what we are studying is on these three principal aspects of the path by Geshe Losang Khapa. So last week, so we started that first line, which says homage to the most venerable teachers. So this line is about about how to relying on the guru.
제가 다 신이 된듯이 있잖아. 로르치면 그런 거 사제 제와이나 로지 자와 신이 된비 처스. 때는 로지다 주의 처스네. 네 사제 침묵이 신의 순조래. 대인자니 사제 그런이네. 네 로지 자와스네 시조래. 제자니 다 드니기 예때 몸보지 소소 줄시 그게나 되니 그 자와 되니 아니 다 기계 보질 때 그거래스네. 아니 기계한테 따도 저거 예대 조시비가 자와대 다오리스피나 니 시 동보지 야가도 로마야 보시고는 자와대 야 보고는 노지가 아니 수수 기계한테 디가 자와나디 저거 요래스네 아니 사실 그런 게네 안에 들이 순조해서
So in his text, the great exposition of the stages of the path, then the Tsong Khapa's mention two main headings. So which are that the first one is the relying on the guru as the root of the path, and then the next one is having relying on the guru, then how to how to engage in the practice or engage in the training of the path. So therefore, if we refer to that, regarding the whole teachings on the guru, relying on the guru falls under that first the headings, so which says the relying on guru as the root of the path. So now that word root, so that actually says a lot. That is to what it is saying that in this in this our spiritual practice. So we would like to develop the great many excellent qualities. So therefore these to in order to what it's saying is that in order to develop all these so great many qualities, then it is saying that we must find the qualified guru, and who is like the root of all our serving as a root of all our excellent qualities. So like just for just as like how if you wanted to plant a tree and then if you wanted the tree to be grown into a very healthy looking, with the leaves, branches, and fruits, everything to be very healthy. So you've got to make sure that the most important thing is its root have to be very, firm and very healthy. So similar to that, how important is the relying on the guru.
제자 아니다 다 소소 개개지 땡 그거 다 개개지 땡 균세 가르스나 땅 아저디 좀블리근 놀 소소 다 로주 제발라 니 로탄도발라 가리나 니 개개지 땡 그거도 개개지 마테나 소소 로주야 부싱도 데노지다 데나 다 세시마다 니 드리그 셔와 시마다 드리그 롱거야 보지는 도에가 아니 로주지 제거에자 아니 내 기기지 지메지 땡고 그래서
So So why we need to rely on the gurus? So this is same, even to achieve some mundane goal, so that we have to learn some mundane activities. So we have to rely on to someone to show, how to do it. So we have to rely on some other persons as a teachers. So in the same way, so for us to be successful on our to achieve our spiritual goal, so we must rely on the right gurus, and then here, of course, in a spiritual journey, spiritual path. So we are talking about our future, future life, and many the long term our spiritual our goal, and so therefore, in fact, the role of the guru is even far greater, importance.
Wana gege jiten guwe na gege te ngazo te ta lota no la dinge gege da ane nuchi ne supi gege la chewa yore wese na ane chewa chimbo yores ta nuchi ne supi ta gege singe ta tsi korong tendo te la karse go worse na ge sere sosi ge lingo ye samte gewal pi ko denge shi ane ge sene tsi shimati go ane sosole laji chi te le netse tore yepa nyonyung tore yepa o tenijila gegensene o ane tsiti ge tendo korola ane tenishi ge yores so lingwa yeso de gewal kongesene tsi tombo koroga ane tenishi ge ore mato laji chichi pol shi ge marisrwa.
So just for the in our mundane life, so we have to be successful. So we have to go to school, and then have to learn the acquired educations, and depend on, and our education is dependent on what sort of teachers who teach. So therefore, in same way, so in our spiritual path, so we rely on the spiritual teachers. So now, if we have to make the comparisons, whether how the way how we rely on, whether in the spiritual path, do we rely on our spiritual teacher, same as we rely on our normal teacher or not? And so afterward, what does that mean, relying on the spiritual teachers? So now the term teacher, in fact, the term teacher, which in Tibetan is called, there's two syllables, which is a ge and gen, all right? So the ge, which simply means virtue, okay, and the gen means the literally it means someone who is senior to ourselves. Okay, so here the implication is more in terms of senior, in terms of their knowledge, the degree of the knowledge and the experience. Of course, here the spiritual knowledge, the experience is greater and higher than ourselves. So, and then the ge virtue. So it is means to lead the actions, of the body, speech, and mind towards virtuous, towards virtue. So that's from this. The literal meaning of this Tibetan word, gegen, means teacher. So we can get some sort of understanding of what's the role of the spiritual teacher.
gewe shinyi senani gesenge te tangin hoji lingwa is gewala kongichi ane gewala konge go ni ta soso bi sene shinda nyewa tela ni xie nye sene mazo pi pinja da ane tenzo tsola mazo peyo xie nye sene ji peyo li so yaro di ten hoji go ane soso gewala ane lingwa is gewala kongi kowi go ni soso la ni nyewa sene ane tani go xie jago yores.
And then another word for the teacher, which beside like in Tibetan, like gegen, and then there's another word which we popularly use is called, gewe shenyen, gewe shenyen. So that gewe is the same meaning as that first one, like gegen, ge, which means virtues. So it means to teacher is someone who motivate, who instruct or guide one to follow the virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. And then the shenyin simply means a friend, means someone who's very close to one's close to us, and close to one's heart, and so in a sense someone who close to one in terms of somebody who's very closest to one in terms of leading one to the virtuous path.
Tesosa ta tetawe ni shunju ji sende ni ta nga zo ma shewa na na jela shewa to ni she samba no ni kune kumbe yuwa cheta ni shunju senju rombo chi sene ni cao chi sinde ni tri chao chao yin.
And so I think the time's nearly up, so we want to probably finish today here with these prayers, which says, may these precious mind of bodhicittas, which has not arisen within in us, be arisen, and one which the precious bodhicitta which has already arisen, may that increase and never diminish.
Shonju senju rambo je ma je ba no je je wa nyamba me ba kune kondo be wa shu. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Go.
So you're comparing the worldly teacher
Yeah.
to the Dharma teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say they're similar.
Yeah.
But we would never consider
Yeah.
the worldly teacher, to be like a Buddha or to be.
Yeah.
seen.
남주 당도 디 직된 당라 개개인세 줘라. 당당한 추억 당도 개개인서라. 다 니가 개개인을 왜라고서 지금 남주기 당도 다 그다가 다시 개개인세야지 개발을 꾸에 깨지셔라. 다 거기 지와디라. 다 남주가 롭도 당라 개개인 줘라. 가서 가서 다 당도 최적이 다 개개인신에서 줘라. 되다고 말했어. 네, 다
My question is,
you understand.
how important
Yeah.
and how necessary
Yeah.
is it to see the
Yeah.
Dharma teacher as not just a worldly teacher? To see the Dharma teacher as something more.
Yeah. You mean the worldly teacher as not Dharma teacher, or what do you?
So if you say the teacher in worldly activities,
Yeah.
similar to
Yeah.
the teacher in Dharma,
Yeah.
but how important is it for our development, how important is it to see that the Dharma teacher is, let's say, superior?
당 먼저 최적이 다 개별 신경 성적으로 뒤다 남주기 롭달라 개개 지겨워. and then 사무다 된대기 삼로만 딜레 개체다 딜레 내가 치면 이면 간다고 그래서 그 티와됐던 거였어.
알레 시단에다 로테 기게도 소 시도 개침보러 와. 맞좀 못된 센데로 좋아지 찍고 그래. 좋아야 보지 찍고. and tell depends on it is gore, minutes or shit tomorrow.
Right.
The solata, Japan the dog, the Loju Chigor, Gachimbority, in a 10 year, no chile she be Gachi. Gachi Carisenata Lotan is about it, send dig dishes, send dig till Loju Sajira. That Matoti Nuchina Shevatene, say Shimish Mashmish money, Yungorita, Sony Nonin Nema, giving it as cut in the covers.
I think the main difference lies in terms of the length of the time that each teacher, like our worldly teacher and the spiritual teacher, benefit to us. So when we talk about the spiritual teacher, then we're talking about the not just only this life, but the life after these and the future, and so many, all the future life as well. So all lifetime. So, but then at the same time, of course, if we the worldly teachers, so of course these are also very important, and we must always acknowledge their support as well, because we understand how it is by depending on them that we will find the kind of life that we live in this life, in terms of our future careers and our scope of occupations, and so all this for this life. We are we are depending on our good livelihood, like food, clothing, so on. So therefore, all the education we receive from the normal teachers. So these are all very very helpful for those, and something we have to acknowledge. So so perhaps we will save your full answer to your question for the next one, because it is about the we just touched this on the relying on the spiritual teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, Nijina Ji Tuva Yena Chitane Karsina Charonsa to Kozali Hina Chitone, Ji Nalchila Shanani, Niti Nimachini letter just Tuatel Tane, letter at this Katu Yashira Pito Sono Yambosin and Kumarawa. Ane Chi Sono Yitola, Toai Kokana, which is the tradition, that's letter or Yapuchi. So
thank you for your question, Damien. And so if anyone has questions, so you can send your question to Damien or to the office, the Tara House office email. And Geshe said that he actually prefers to receive the question in ahead, so he can prepare. He can have it give him a bit of opportunity to have a thought on that, rather than giving answer on the spot. So, so this is both way beneficial. So you can also send your questions by putting a comment, adding a comment to the video that you are watching. Yeah. So just if Geshe said if he received the question in advance, so it give him more time to think about the answer. So that would be very useful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.